A group of Bahamians hoping to invest in the tourism sector. An executive at the GBPA outlining plans for the city of Freeport. And the Freetown community pulling off a big heritage festival.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Shashina Wolf-Parkinson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping the news this evening, an executive of the Grand Bahama Port Authority sharing some of their challenges when it comes to the city of Freeport, as well as strategies put in place to assist in the way forward. His comments coming during the Chamber of Commerce's monthly meeting. Executive Director at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Rupert Hayward, telling members of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce that while investment to this island is crucial, another area that needs immediate attention is the image of Freeport City. He says one of the major problems on this island is littering.
We see the dumping. We see the effects of 3 major hurricanes in, 13 years now. And we see some of the derelict cars. So I just want to say that we understand the issue, we do see it, and we are putting strategies in place to solve it.
He says over the last 3 years, more than 3,000 tons of litter have been picked up.
That's not your garbage or your trash, that is litter that is thrown out of cars, dropped on the sidewalks, that has to be picked up on a daily basis. 1,000 tons of litter. If you Google 3,000 tons, do you know what comes up? A container tanker. It's a lot. It's an enormous amount. That's 70,000 bags in 3 years. And if you want to see the amount of resource that has to go to solve that problem, each one of our litter pickers walks a half marathon every day in the burning sun to pick up that litter. So that's one of the things we do need to solve, because we've got a lot of resource that's focused on solving problems that really shouldn't be there.
On another issue, the port executive pointed out that the recent 3 major hurricanes have had a huge effect on this island as well.
I would just say that with that as a backdrop, last year we did spend $1.4 million in unbudgeted expenses to deal with the effects of Hurricane Matthew across the group. It's a significant investment. That's on top of all the other money that we spend on a regular basis to keep our city as good as we know it should be. This year, we're even increasing that budget in real terms, above and beyond what we spent in 2017.
He adds that over $1 million has been invested in roadworks for the city.
If you look at this, over the last 3 years alone, we've actually covered 1,682 potholes. That's almost 2 potholes a day, over 500 potholes a year. We've cleared almost 200 littering dumping sites, illegal dumping sites. That's 1 every 5 days, and we've removed 125 abandoned vehicles. That's 3 vehicles a month. Now bear in mind that process is up to a month long, depending on how we work with the owners of those cars. In the last 7 years, we put 5 roundabouts in place. It's almost a roundabout a year. We've paved 38,392 feet. That's over 8 miles of road.
Hayward says they are working feverishly on new recycling programs, identifying derelict buildings and vehicles, as well as other incentive programs. In other news, a group of Bahamian business persons are combining resources to make a major investment in the local economy. Tonight, one of the leading partners say that the vision is to provide hope to other residents on this island. Megan Shepard has more on this story.
6 partners and 4 shareholders have come together to make a multi-million-dollar investment into the Grand Bahama economy. This group of Bahamians are currently in negotiations to purchase a small operational resort on island. President of Leveling Off Crew Companies Limited, Troy Garvey, says that the group sought international lenders to purchase the resort with the vision of bringing hope and an economic boost. Garvey says that many Grand Bahamians may question the decision to invest in Grand Bahama during this economic time, but he firmly believes that the residents will be the ones to bring about a change.
If you look at the economy here in Grand Bahama, it's basically flat. There's some people still doing some things, some people taking some chances to go into the invest on the island to who really believes in Grand Bahama, that it can come back, and I believe it can. And so the group of Bahamians who is doing this is going to be Bahamian owned, Bahamian operated. And this is what we're trying to do to really enhance and to encourage Bahamians in Grand Bahama that this is our time. This is our time to get it going. This is our time to lift the economy of Grand Bahama. If we keep waiting on a vessel from outside of the country, we can be in trouble. And I would say that because when we met with the lenders from outside of the country, the lenders asked me, Mr. Garvey, what did you see? Or what do you see what we don't see? And I say, I see my people is looking for that hope.
Garvey says that the vision with this purchase is to bring back the old flair of Grand Bahama. He says he hopes this business move will inspire other Bahamians.
It already has a staff. We're going to enhance that staff because of what we're prepared to do as far as enhancing the business of the hotel. But Megan, the thing about it is, it's bigger than just the resort we're purchasing. What we're trying to do, we're trying to send a message. We're trying to send a message to Bahamians to say, listen, if we're doing this, we want to encourage you, not only encourage, but we want to help you to know that opportunities exist for you also.
Now, Garvey says that he cannot disclose the name of the resort as yet, but negotiations are in the final stages. So far, the group of 10 has invested several $1 million into the deal.
We're looking at $4 million so far. A group of Bahamians, hardworking Bahamians. So I think that's very, very, very good to start off with. We are already in negotiations. We already sat at the table. We have already negotiated the price. We on the closing end of it right now. It's right here in Grand Bahama. I don't want to call the name yet because it isn't closed yet, and I don't want to breach the seller because we have to be mindful that he has obligations also. But we are close to closing.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season is just days away, and officials on Grand Bahama are fine-tuning their preparedness plan. Tonight, we hear about challenges in a crucial area. Sabrina Brown has this report.
On the island of Grand Bahama, as everybody have heard us talk about many years, we still have a challenge with supplying the island with shelters.
As we approach the start of the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season, the National Emergency Management Agency is working to ensure that Grand Bahama is in a state of readiness. NEMA Officer Tammy Mitchell says securing adequate and proper shelters remains a major challenge. To date, only 12 shelters have been named for Grand Bahama.
We have another call out again right before this hurricane season for any persons who in the community who knows of any buildings that can serve as shelters to come forward and let us know where those buildings are and who the contact persons are. And it's simply because the buildings that we've been using in the past have gone through their own challenges. They are making repairs. Some of them have already made repairs, but the island itself still doesn't have sufficient shelters.
Mitchell says finding adequate volunteers to assist with the operation of the shelters is another issue that is being addressed. She's appealing to residents to lend a helping hand.
When we call out for assistance, we're not going to put you in harm's way. We're going to utilize you in areas where you would have received some training, or we can give you training so that you're able to assist us as volunteers. And again, volunteers can contact our office, and we do keep a database of volunteers so we know that which areas you have been trained in so that we can use you as best as possible.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
In news from the crime beat, police are investigating a shooting incident that has left a male hospitalized. Shortly after 11 p.m. last night, police were called to the Deadman's Reef area where a male had reportedly just pulled up home in his vehicle with 2 passengers when he was accosted by 2 males, both brandishing a firearm. Now, a struggle ensued between the assailants and the victim was shot several times to the body. The suspects fled on foot. The victim was transported to the hospital via EMS personnel and is now listed in stable condition. Well, 2 males and a female, all from Grand Bahama, are in police custody after they were arrested for possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply and taking preparatory steps to export dangerous drugs. Reports are that shortly before 1 p.m. yesterday, Drug Enforcement Unit officers were called to the U.S. Pre-Clearance Departure Lounge at the Grand Bahama International Airport, where a male presented himself at U.S. Customs to board a flight to Florida. A search was conducted of his carry-on bag, where 3 plastic packages, each containing suspected cocaine, were discovered. Further initial investigations resulted in the arrest of another male and a female. The total weight of the suspected cocaine is 7.58 pounds, and the estimated value is $45,000. Stay with us. There's more news right after this.